It's been 1 year since U.S. troops withdrew from Afghanistan. Since then, there's been a lot of change. Women's rights all but erased by the Taliban government. Girls older than 11 banned from attending school. And more than 1 million children at risk of malnutrition thanks to sanctions and droughts ravaging the economy. Tonight, we talk with a family who fled Afghanistan after the U.S. withdrew. They tell our Emily Longnecker they're hopeful for a happier future.
Crawling around the two-bedroom apartment where he lives with his parents on the south side of Indianapolis, 14-month-old Suleiman Shirzad is too young to remember the chaos that was all around him a year ago on this very day. His mother, Halima, though, will never forget it.
It was a black day for all Afghan people.
A year ago today, Kabul, Afghanistan's capital city, fell under Taliban control.
No one can forget those days.
Least of all Halima, who had just given birth 4 weeks earlier to Suleiman, her firstborn. A year ago today, with an infant son who doctors told her had been born with heart issues, Halima and her husband Soho had a choice to make: stay and have Halima give up any rights she had as a woman under the Taliban.
They will not let us to go to school, to work.
Or leave and say goodbye to their families and the only home they'd ever known, with only the clothes on their backs. They chose the latter.
We can live now in Afghanistan. Wherever we have to go somewhere else.
And so began a journey that started a year ago on this day. The destination not guaranteed as the family fought to even get to the airport in Kabul, stopped and questioned several times by the Taliban.
The Taliban, they pushed me too, and they pushed Suleiman. Suleiman was falling down, and I took her from his feet, and I held from his feet.
When Halima asked for some water, she says she'll never forget what she says a Taliban member said to her.
Women are destroying the world.
Now, it felt like the world Halima had counted on raising her son in was being destroyed right in front of her eyes, and the only way out was on a crowded plane, then at a refugee camp for several weeks in Qatar, before finally making it to Indiana in early September. Almost a year later, the infant from that journey is now standing up and almost ready to walk on his own. Halima watches her son growing up more every day in his new home and wonders about her own parents, who she says are hiding from the Taliban.
I'm trying to make good memories for Suleiman here, and I'm really worried about my family, my dad.
But Halima knows this is home now, even if it doesn't always feel quite like it.
We have to accept it. Like, we have to accept it here as our home.
Here is where Suleiman will grow up, knowing Afghanistan only from his parents' stories.
He has to know about his country.
Halima wants her son to know this country too.
He should help the people like the American people help us. So in this point, I want to Suleiman be as an American. The future is here.
Now, since the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan, we've seen thousands of evacuees and families come here to Indiana. And just a couple weeks ago, we caught up with another family on the south side who fled Taliban rule last fall. They were celebrating the first day of school for their daughter who couldn't attend school under Taliban law. You can watch their story right now on WTHR.com.